Hey, my name is Mabel from Nova Scotia. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Diary to Story Animated. I have a story that changed my life, but let's begin with some background. My name is Mabel, but most of my friends called me Kim. Why, you may ask? Well, I was actually a spy in my early years, and Kim was one of my undercover names. I was really good at my job. So good that some of the closest people in my life didn't even know my real identity. I came from a family of spies. My whole life, my family had trained me for undercover missions. And over the past 10 years or so, I've done many. One of the many lessons that I've learned while doing undercover missions is that you can't get too close to the people around you. If you do, there's a chance that you'll reveal your identity, compromise the mission, and be kicked off the job. For years, I closed my heart off. I didn't let anybody in. And I was known for being able to shut off my emotions. So that's why the boss thought that I'd be perfect for this job. For this mission, I was supposed to steal information from the CEO of a major tech company, George Montgomery. To get inside, I was supposed to make good friends with his son, Kyle Montgomery. Kyle attended this fancy boarding school in California. So I transferred to that school and became Kim Connors, the new transfer student from Canada. There were so many people in that school, and so many of them wanted to be Kyle's friend. It wasn't going to be easy getting in with Kyle if I didn't make an impression on him. And to make an impression on him, I had to make friends. So throughout the semester, I was able to make friends with Susie, an upbeat girl who knows all the ins and outs of all social groups in the school. She knows about every single party that happens on campus, and she goes to every single party on campus. I also became friends with a guy named Michael. Michael and I had a lot in common, and he was really cute. So when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I said yes. This broke my #1 rule: don't date. I made this rule for myself because if I dated someone as Mabel and then went on to date someone else as one of my undercover aliases, I could be caught cheating, and I don't want anyone to get hurt. But Michael swept me off my feet. Anytime Susie, him, and I would hang out, he would flirt with me and I would flirt back. He's always been so caring and so sweet. I couldn't help but fall for him. I also became really close friends with Susie. She's my best friend. Are you sure you can handle this, honey? Yeah, I'm heading to a party tonight that Kyle is going to attend. I'm moving on to the next step of the mission. You've gotten really close to Subject Susie and Subject Michael. You've got to remember that these relationships aren't real. Once you've done the mission, you're not Kim anymore, and you'll have to make him disappear. I know, Mom. This is all going according to plan. Please wait for my next update. All right, our client is depending on us. As I hung up the phone, I looked in the mirror. I was miserable and saddened by the fact that once the mission is complete, I will never get to see Susie or Michael ever again. I know I put myself in this situation for getting too close to the relationships I created, but it's times like these when I wished I wasn't a spy. Especially with this mission, where I got to spend months away from my family, living the life of a normal high school girl. It was all new to me. It was even a little bit scary, but it was nice. I felt free. For the party tonight, I put on a dress that will get everybody's attention. It was a red velvet dress. The cut went down to my ankles, and I wore black strappy heels to go along with it. I wore my hair up elegantly, and I looked good. The theme of tonight's party was a formal gala. The students planned this party to have an excuse to dress nicely and use the budget for a fancy meal. But secretly, this was a chance for everybody to get dressed up and mingle. When I entered the party, all eyes were on me, including Kyle's. Perfect. Everything was going according to plan. Wow, Kim, you look great. Thanks. Wow, girl, you really went all out. Michael here is a really lucky man. Hey, Michael. I saw Kyle over at the chocolate fountain talking to all his friends and enjoying the chocolate fondue. I quickly excused myself from my friends, and I head right over to the chocolate fountain. Then I saw 2 girls approach him. Wow, Kyle, you look handsome as always. Look, Kyle, your suit matches my dress. What a coincidence. You want to dance? Actually, I was going to ask him to dance with me. I was here first. Yeah, but you were too slow. The girls who were hitting on Kyle became catty and started fighting with each other, like hungry stray cats fighting over fishbone. There's no way Kyle would ever dance with you. You're not even prettier than me. He won't be able to look at you long enough to last one song. And why would Kyle ever dance with you? Your hair is as dry as straw. It'll just make him itch. Your breath smells. You have dry hands. Kyle's friends were even scared off. It was getting out of hand, and I could tell that Kyle did not want to be in the middle of it. This was the perfect opportunity for me, so I approached the chocolate fountain. Hey dude, did you finish the chemistry assignment that Mr. Pearson assigned to us last minute? Yes, but who are you? Hey, I love this song! I took Kyle by the hands and dragged him onto the dance floor. This is a dance, why aren't you dancing? If you don't dance with me, they won't go away. As the music changed, I pulled him in for a slow dance. There we go. For a second there, I didn't think you knew how to dance. They're gone. Now is your time to escape. What? You don't want to dance with me like the other girls? Funny, but I already have a loving boyfriend. Hey guys, over here! Dude, your girlfriend is a lifesaver. She's the best, isn't she? I'm Kyle. We know, you're like the most popular guy in our school. Susie. I'm Michael. Kim. You know, I think we're all going to be good friends. After that, the next couple of days, Kyle joined us for lunch and hung out with us after classes. He and I became the best of buds. One day, I saw Kyle waiting at the school entrance. According to my sources, he was heading home for the weekend. I knew that this was a good chance to get closer to his dad. So I went to meet him out front. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Kim. What are you doing standing around here? I'm just waiting for my dad's driver to pick me up. I'm heading home for the weekend. Oh, how fun! Yeah, it will be. My dad has a few things planned for us to do this weekend. Are you waiting for a ride as well? Yeah, I just called an Uber. I'm heading into town to explore. I haven't really done any touring since I got here. Oh, that's right. Your family are all in Canada, right? Yeah, I kind of miss them from time to time, but it's nice being independent. Do you have a place to stay in town? I was just thinking of checking into a hotel or something. That's way too expensive for just a weekend away from school. Why don't you cancel that Uber and come stay at my family home? And I can show you around town. I was in shock. This mission just got easier by the second. Not only I got to interact with Mr. Montgomery himself, but I was able to spend the weekend in his very own home. I could snoop around on my free time and late at night when everyone's asleep. I just had to give him an answer. You really mean it? Yeah, why not? You're one of my best friends. It's the least I can do. What he said just left a pit in my stomach. As the car drove up and we got in, I began to feel guilty. Thanks, Kyle. This is awesome. It'll be fun. You can meet my dad, and I'm sure he'd be happy to meet you. Aw, that's sweet. Are you both close? Yeah, he wants me to take over the company one day, so he's trying to balance our work and personal lives. Oh. Does he take you to work and show you the ropes in place of your father-son bonding time? You would think that. He seems pretty serious and professional in front of the media, but he's actually a really good dad. Kyle was right. Mr. Montgomery was very kind and welcomed me with open arms. Once I was settled in, both Kyle and Mr. Montgomery accompanied me into town and gave me the grand tour. We had such a fun day of sightseeing, and I really got to know the both of them. Mr. Montgomery was a really nice man who loves his son very much. Why did headquarters want me to steal files from his work files? In the evening, we all went to a nice diner. Not the scene that I thought Mr. Montgomery would be caught seen in, but it looks like he's a burger and fries guy, just like the rest of us. Mabel, it's so nice to have you with us this weekend. I always love hanging out with my son, but he's never brought a friend home before. Dad! Well, I really appreciate you letting me stay for the weekend. It really saves me a lot of money. Anything for a friend of Kyle's. Besides, he speaks highly of you. I looked over to Kyle. He was so embarrassed and blushing so much. He tried to hide his face with the menu. that's when I realized he liked me. And I think I was beginning to like him back. But I had a boyfriend, and I really liked Michael as well. But none of this would last. It wasn't real after all. Eventually, I'll have to break up with Michael, and I'll never see him, Kyle, or Susie again. The next day, Kyle and Mr. Montgomery had plans to go paintballing, and they invited me to come along. Mr. Montgomery was good, a challenging opponent for sure, but I was good too. Maybe a little too good in the end. Mr. Montgomery and Kyle were covered in paint while I came out clean. Late at night, when everyone was asleep, I snuck out of my room and did a bit of snooping. I went into Mr. Montgomery's office and looked around for any files. His file cabinets were locked, but his laptop was sitting on his desk. I turned on his laptop and bypassed the lock screen. I was in! The home screen on his laptop was a picture of him and Kyle together. As the home screen showed me a slideshow of pictures of Kyle and Mr. Montgomery together. I just sat there, contemplating on whether or not I should continue the mission. I know this is important for my client, but my heart wasn't in the right place. Wait, what was I thinking? My job was first and foremost to get Mr. Montgomery's work files. I was letting feelings get in the way, but I can't do that. I've never done that on a mission before. Just then, another photo appeared on the screen. It was from earlier that day, and I was in it. I couldn't do it. I don't know what my client wants from Mr. Montgomery, but I couldn't deliver. So I packed my bags and left their home. I went back to the school to gather my things, and I slipped a note under both Susie and Michael's doors, telling them that I have to go home, and this is goodbye. I called my mom, and she sent someone to come pick me up. When I got home, I was crying, and my mom came to hug me. I told her I didn't want to be a spy anymore. I wanted to quit and be a normal girl at a normal school. She listened to me and understood. I understand, my darling. I grew up as a spy and never got to live out my childhood. You're a brilliant girl. I'm sure whatever you decide to do from now on, you'll be successful. And so, here we are. It's been a few years now. I ended up going to college and learning a lot about myself. I ended up taking creative writing and am now a published author with my best-selling series about a teenage spy. I work from home and even at various cafes. Training to be a spy and all the missions I've done really taught me a lot of different skills, and it's also taught me a lot about the outside world. But ever since steering off that path, my life has been peaceful and I've been really happy. I made new friends and I go by Mabel now. And for once, there isn't a plan. I just let life take me where it wants to go.
Excuse me, is this seat taken?